So today I am pickling cucumbers with my excess cucumbers, and what I did with these in terms of cutting them was some of the cucumbers I cut into fingers, and if they were small enough I kept them whole just to see which texture I would prefer to have. The other cucumbers that were bigger I actually sliced as if you would put them into a sandwich, and I did some on a diagonal slice. I also cut some as if you were making Japanese cucumber pickles. So what they do is like take a chunk off the side and then turn it a quarter, a chunk off the side, turn it a quarter, chunk off the side, turn it a quarter. That texture was actually quite nice as well. The texture I actually preferred was cutting the cucumber into fingers. I preferred that over the whole ones as well, but I did like the Japanese cucumber diced way of doing it as well. So in the future they're probably the two ways I'll do these. So once you finish slicing them up into whatever shapes you would like, you put them into these strainers. Then you'll add some salt over the top of them and mix the salt through. Now I just did enough salt to make sure they were pretty covered, not heaps but enough that every piece sort of had a little bit on it. And then I mixed it all around. I added some ice on top to keep them nice and cold, and then just put the tea towel over and let them sit for about 3 hours. To avoid having to use the ice, you can put them in the fridge, but at the time I had a fridge full of crayfish, so I couldn't put them in. So after the 3 hours, I rinsed all of the salt off the cucumbers, and then they were ready to go. And then I added 3 cups of vinegar to 1 cup of sugar to the pickle mix, and a little bit of mustard seeds. I did a little bit of black, a little bit of yellow, and then put that on the stove to simmer for a couple of minutes. Now I did 1 cup of sugar. I found that very sweet. I'm not a huge fan of sweetness, and the recipe I actually was going off asked for 2 cups of sugar, and I'd already reduced it to 1, and I still found that quite sweet. So next time I think I'll either go 3/4 cup or even half a cup to counteract this for myself, but that's all up to your individual taste really. So what I did with the jars was just to add some 2 whole garlic cloves in the bottom, and a little bit of dill and a little bit of bird's eye chili. Then I proceeded to fill the jars with the cucumbers and add the pickle mix to the jar. Now I did this slowly because I have a habit of breaking stuff with hot water. So what I also done once I had the jars full with the cucumbers was add some more chili and dill on top, and a few more mustard seeds, black and yellow. And then I just started topping up with the pickle mix until it reached above all the cucumbers, and let them sit until they got to room temperature, and then added the lids to them. I actually done a second pickle mix in which I added some turmeric and powdered chili to. Now after tasting this, I didn't taste a significant difference between this one and just the plain pickle mix. So in future, if I do the turmeric and chili powder, I might add just a little bit more than I did add, which was about half to 3/4 of a teaspoon of each. But yeah, I didn't notice a hell of a lot of difference, and I've had a few people taste it and they didn't really notice a big difference either. So definitely we'll be adding a little bit more of the turmeric and chili powder in future, but it does have a better aesthetic look to it, if that makes any difference. But yeah, it does look better to look at because you have this nice yellow tinted pickle mix around your cucumbers. So I just found that it looked a lot nicer. So once again, just filling up the jar with the cucumbers, and once I had done that, I added a little bit more dill, a little bit more bird's eye chili, and a little bit more mustard seeds again, and then just topping up with the pickled mix to cover the cucumbers. And yeah, refrigerated, and the following day was the first time I tried them, and I found them quite nice. Like I said, apart from a little bit of sweetness, which I wouldn't say was overpowering with 1 cup of sugar, but as I prefer a more savory side of things, then I'm going to reduce the sugar in future. But as I said, it's a personal preference, and you can play around with any type of recipe to suit your taste buds. But overall, I found this recipe to be pretty easy, pretty basic, which I guess most pickles are, but I'll probably be using this in the future quite often because I found them really nice to snack on during the really hot days that we've been having as well, and my kids seem to enjoy them a fair bit too. So thanks for watching.